Grains making a charge forward in last week. So what can we expect this week? Michelle Rook is back with John Payne in this morning's Markets Now.
Well, a higher day on Friday in the grains. John Payne is joining us to visit about that. Not only a higher day on Friday, but higher weekly closes in the grains, kind of started by that key reversal in the wheat market. So do you think the bottoms are in?
I think in the short run that we've seen the low prices. I think as we get into July delivery, so mark your calendars, the middle of June. This is the kind of price action I think we look forward to if there's a confirmed supply of summer grains, meaning Brazil has a crop, the U.S. crop looks okay, and the U.S. wheat crop outside of what we know in Kansas and Oklahoma doesn't look good is okay. So that's kind of where I would say, be careful here chasing it higher. I think timing is everything, and delivery for these contracts really matters. I think in the case of wheat, it's a negative thing. I think in the case of corn, probably positive. And I think that would be the way I would play it, setting yourself up for the next 6 weeks.
So was it all technical? Was there fundamental reasons behind the push here, John?
Well, a couple things happened this week. We had an Egyptian tender, which came in at a price that really the market didn't like. But I think what was important was the price fell below what was the preset floor for Russian export taxes. So, I think we found a level here where Russia is going to hesitate to want to sell wheat like they have been. And that should put a bottom here in the cash markets. The problem is with the KC wheat specifically is that it's so expensive relative to the rest of the world. So while I can point towards a million pictures out there today, especially with the crop tour going on over the weekend, that you have, massive problems in Southwest Kansas. And so the market is going to trade that. But I do think, again, going back to the delivery, folks without storage tend to get kind of hit the hardest on the exit of this. And I would imagine we see a dive and then rally once the harvest gets made, if it gets made.
All right. And corn and beans, you think, can build on this as well?
I do. I think corn's got a lot going for it. Specifically, we saw some news this week out of Brazil about the next year's safrinha crop. And farmers there are shunning it a little bit. So for the first time I'm not going to get my numbers right, but I want to say the last 15 years, we might see year-over-year decline in corn acres in Brazil. That's an important thing to focus on long-term.
All right. Well, some good news finally for the grain farmers. Thanks so much for joining us. John Payne with HedgePoint Global Markets, and our full analysis at our Markets Now podcast. We'll have more AgDay coming out.
To find John's newsletter, This Week in Grain and Oilseeds, head over to www.thisweekingrain.com.